Benvenuto and welcome to the Shared Table. My name is Owen Doherty and I'm going to be your host for the evening. The Shared Table is all about savouring life's simple pleasures, like sharing good food and having great conversations. And speaking of having great conversations, tonight I'm absolutely delighted that we're going to be joined by two fantastically funny actors who have taken the worlds of stage and screen by storm, and they just happen to be my two favourite stars of the hit, hilarious TV show, Derry Girls. So will you please give a really warm, massive welcome for Siobhan McSweeney and Kathy Keira Clark.
I was actually nervous driving the car.
I'm the Henry Ford of accents. You can ask for whatever accent you want, but you're getting this one.
It's an absolute pleasure. Thanks for taking the time to join us this evening. I hope you haven't eaten. We've got like lovely food, lovely drinks as well, so
Looks
we can
great.
just get stuck in. Normally, I was going to do like a big introduction of like who you were, Siobhan, who you were, Kathy. But the thing is, because you guys are actually really good friends anyway, I thought it might be a little bit more interesting maybe if you introduce each other. Plus, it makes my job a lot easier as well. So, yeah.
Well, Kathy Keira Clark is an actress that I've known for quite a while, but only became friendly with when we started doing Derry Girls. We have a lot of friends in common actually here in Dublin in the theatre scene, and that's how I met her first. She is a great pal to have, very thoughtful, very funny, and great to go on holiday and have a meal with. So yeah, she would say that I make a good lie. Lie if you need to.
Siobhan, that was lovely, Kathy. No pressure then, basically. So.
That was lovely. Well, really all of what Siobhan just said. We knew each other of each other. We sort of orbited each other's lives for years, and going back quite a few years actually when I lived and worked in Dublin. And then 6 years ago, we started to work on Derry Girls, and she hasn't got rid of me since, literally. Literally.
You both were in Italy relatively recently, but actually together as well. How did that come about? Was that a plan? Was that, you know, was it like, let's go together, where we go, having a look at the flights, or like, what was the thinking behind all of that?
Do you know what? It was such a... Siobhan had booked a holiday. She's a great woman for going off. She loves to go off on her own globe
Failed
traveling.
this time.
I followed her. When we were filming season 2 of Derry Girls, Siobhan's daddy died, and so she went back to Cork and came back and filmed all of Sister Michael's stuff in like a 2-3 not even week stretch. Just got it all done and came back and did that.
I watched
like
the
a
second
champion.
series, like everybody else, going,
Yeah, how did that even happen?
Yeah,
Couldn't
like a
remember.
blur,
Yeah.
basically. Yeah.
And she did come back like a champion and do that. And yeah, and she said to me that she'd booked, she said, do you fancy going to Venice? And I said, you know what, I really do. So I matched her dates. I flew out and met
Matched
you.
the
matched
hotel,
the
the
hotel.
dates and
And then we
everything,
flew
yeah.
back together
Yeah,
and continued
yeah.
our holiday in St Pancras.
yeah, we did.
Is that what you had envisaged when you mentioned it to Kathy? And she was like,
No,
grand, I'll
I'm
see you
there,
there. Like,
see
no
ya.
bother.
I think actually what I said was, I don't think I'll go to Venice. And she said, you really should, you really should. I said, it doesn't feel right to go to Venice
didn't wanna
after
go.
burying Dad, but I was also, we were shattered and everything. And she said, I'll go with you. And I went,
And we ate our way
Mark's
around.
fine.
We went for one of the best meals ever
Yeah.
in the Daniele Hotel.
yeah, most expensive meal I did.
Most expensive meal ever.
She was like, we'll have another bottle. I was like, oh, God.
So no, it's actually...
What was on the menu? Like, what was so special about that Italian food?
It was also the location. Like, we were looking out at all the other islands around Venice, and Hotel Daniele is so
Stunning.
so stunning. It's so famous for, you know, like Oscar Wilde has been there. All these, do you know it? Yeah, it's beautiful, isn't it? You were fantastic. You were, because of your background in working in a restaurant, you knew the wine list, you knew the menu, you knew stuff, and I was like, this is lovely. And it's sort of, there are very few things. My mum used to always say this, there's so few problems that can be fixed with money. So few real problems, like even heart or brain or whatever, problems that can be fixed with money, that when you find a problem that can be fixed with money, throw the bloody money at it. It felt like a life lesson, actually. have this little treat, and it still feels really special.
That said, we went the next night to a wee down and dirty Italian and had like a €5.
€5, and it was
amazing.
It was just.
And then we were a bit like, what did we do that for last night?
What have we done? What have we done? But I still think it was incredibly special.
It was.
Obviously, from the way you both talk about it, is it a special memory for both of you now in terms of your friendship, and kind of, does that hold a special place in terms of like the fact that
for
you're
me, for sure,
together?
absolutely.
When you're an actor, you're. How many jobs have you had?
On the spot now. That was one of my next questions for you.
5. So this year alone, I've had twice that many. Yeah, well. Do you know? And I've applied for. Do you know what I mean? So there's, unlike other people who work in different industries, as an actor, you get used to making friends and connections very quickly and very easily. It isn't that they're fake. It's just that they might be temporary.
Intense and temporary.
But they're real.
Time, aren't they?
So for me, when Kathy looked at me and went, "You're not going to Venice by yourself," and scuttled off and said, "I've booked flights," that for me meant that it wasn't just, you weren't just a work pal. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like that this was, you cared, mm-hmm. and that we had a friendship, and that you knew that going to Italy for a tiny little break after burying my dad would have been what he would have wanted, and that you helped me to do that. And so it's a very important trip for me. A very important trip for me.
So we got another trip planned then? Have you got it booked in?
God knows.
Do you get to spend much quality time together?
We normally do. Look, it's work, isn't it? We can't say no to work, and work usually takes us, if not all over the place, to Derry. It has weird hours. So at the moment, Kathy's doing a play, and I'm doing the Great Pottery Throwdown in Staffordshire. So we haven't seen each other in quite a while. So this is like one of the many reasons, obviously, to meet you and you.
Not you.
To hang out with Kathy, because it's been a while.
Well, because I know all the amazing theatre work as well, but I didn't realise you were in a Blur video as well, because I was a massive Blur fan as well, which is fascinating.
I lost my
When you found, did you know that then? I only found this like...
I know my nieces and nephews are all just finding it, because I'm not on social media, so I don't have stuff up or anything.
Yeah.
So my nieces and nephews have just suddenly all started to go, I get at least a text a week going, "You did a Blur video?" Lisa McGee sent me one 2 months ago or something. "You seriously do a Blur video?"
The best thing in it, she's driving in it. You do not drive.
Well, that was good acting, because I watched that video.
Well, I don't know. And looking down, she's like,
Well, I will actually tell you.
Is that because you were nervous of David Alburn?
No, he was lovely. They were sound. No, I'll tell you what I was nervous of. Oh my God. Under the Westway.
Yeah.
Right? I'm filming that bit under the Westway. The band, Blur, a horse and a greyhound. I'm driving behind them in a vintage Jag owned by one of Pink Floyd or something, who owns a fleet of them. I accelerated instead of braking. That's not a joke. And the man who was looking after the car wasn't a take yet. He was sort of like, I was like, yeah, I can do it. And he's like, well, I'll just sit in for this one. He leaned over with his hand and braked. So yes, I was actually nervous driving the car. So then when we went for a take, he was lying down in the front in case he needed to brake.
That's amazing. That's like a real kind of pinch me moment, even like looking back at it as well. Those early days when like jobs are few and far between. Thinking now in 2023, what is that kind of, is there a pinch me moment for you, like, oh, can you believe that's happened? Obviously there's been more recent success, but something where you're like, I can't believe this is actually happening here.
My life at the moment feels like that,
right.
If I'm honest. I think when I started my career, there weren't really pinch me moments. There were, don't mess this up, just keep the head down, do your job well, and hopefully you'll get another one. Keep that, like, I wouldn't be able to now do what I did then, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
totally. You need to have a completely different mindset. There was no pinch me moments. I still, it isn't a pinch.
You want a BAFTA.
I was going to.
Now my life is unrecognisable.
Spoiler alert! I was going to get to that part. Yeah.
You see this? I didn't pay for that. This is better than the BAFTA.
Free ready, yeah.
No, but it's I still my heart. I still get little butterflies in my stomach. Two things, and they're both got to do with theatre more than film and TV. The lights around the mirror.
The mirror, yeah.
The lights around.
Does that break you?
I get a little bit. I get a little bit funny around that, and I get a little bit funny the nanosecond before I step out on the stage when I'm in the wings, when I can see the light and I can see the stage and I can feel the audience. It's such a lovely thing to say, isn't it? But like I get a bit odd. I get just a little bit odd for it, and I hope that never goes, because it truly it feels the closest thing that a human can get to magic. It really, really does. Yeah. Yeah.
But obviously that's coming across to the audience as well, because this is Beckett in Birmingham as well.
Yeah.
Like, you've nominated for like theatre awards as well, which is huge. As you said, like, you know, your whole life at the moment is one big pinch me moment. Yeah. But that's amazing. But obviously that buzz that you still get from those moments is translating to the audience as well.
I hope so.
And what about for you, Kathy, in terms of that buzz? You know, is it the moment you get a phone call to say you've got a job, or when you get a script? Oh, script, right, yeah.
The scripts, I usually, like I remember the first time I read Derry Girls.
I was just thinking.
Yeah, and it was a fake scene. I think there were fake sides that were sent first, because they were keeping they were keeping it under wraps just in case it was good and successful. I mean, the fake scenes could have stayed in, actually. They were amazing. But I do remember just thinking, this is brilliant. And I think I know what I want to do with her, and if I don't get this, my life is over. But I really did. There's such a rare thing that you go, oh my God, I have to play her. If I don't, it's wrong.
No one else.
Yeah.
No
I don't want
one
to see
else.
this in anybody else's hands.
So, I mean, just recently we heard the amazing news. It's been nominated for an international Emmy as well. Like what?
I know. I heard that last night.
But like, I mean, to us as an audience, we're like, oh, that's class. Derry Girls is doing brilliant. But what's that feeling like for yous as well? Whenever you're like, oh, just been nominated for an Emmy.
I mean, it just like it's gotten so big.
Yeah.
It's gotten so big that these things are sort of. I can't comprehend them. An Emmy, brilliant.
Yeah, it's great.
Why not?
But it's unbelievable. But I think people, well, obviously, me being from Derry, but I think everyone has that sense of pride and, like, you know, that usual thing of like, it's doing brilliant around the world as well, which is huge.
Yeah, it's. I think that pride thing is really interesting, because I remember when I did an interview when, was it the Oscars or something, when it was a great day for the Irish. Do you feel proud? And I'm like, it's got nothing to do with me. Like, I was not on Inisherin. I did, you know, like these achievements have nothing to do with me. There's something about the pride that is different, though, for the people for Derry. I think they have a lot to be proud of, even though Lisa wrote it and we acted and cast and crew made it, because it's Lisa's experiences and I think the pride that Derry people should have, and people of the North, is one I will allow you to have. Do you know what I mean?
Derry's is another character in it.
Yes, it really, really is. And the
because
show
you all made sure of it.
Yeah.
Obviously, we're celebrating all things Italian here this evening as well. And one of the things Italians absolutely nail is kind of their approach to life and finding kind of joy and happiness in those simple pleasures as well. But I was just wondering, for both of you, like personally, what would those little simple pleasures be?
I like candles every evening.
You're
we
mad
were
for the
mad for the
candles.
candles,
Yeah.
and she, you know, if there's some stressy stuff or whatever going on, she'll text her and go, get
Light
the
the
candles
candle,
lit, get the
yeah.
pajamas on, and then you're sorted. And so candles, baths, candles, yeah.
What about yourself, Siobhan?
I think that's a really good one. Yeah, I love a candle. Like when I was growing up, I'm sure you were the same, like a drafty, damp bungalow, you know, bungalow blight, bungalow down.
I grew up in the city, love.
Oh, well. Sophistication there. I'm the country mouse, but like, regardless of the weather, the first thing Dad would do when he'd wake up would open all the windows. So it feels incredibly decadent to open the windows and have the lovely fresh air in central London come in, and to have the heating on and your own cup of coffee in your favourite mug. I love that. I really still love that.
It's a wee rituals, isn't
yeah.
it? It's all about the ritual. I think a lot of actors are like that, actually.
Right, yeah.
You find that we all have
Well, you
our
need
rituals.
touchstones,
Yeah.
because you're so rarely sleeping in your own bed. You're so rarely at home. Quite like talking about like simple pleasures. My mum, sort of one of her many cottage industries was to bake apple tarts and brown bread and scones for all the local shops, and just showing how your tastes can change and how you don't know how lucky you are. But I would wake up every morning to the beautiful smell of freshly baked soda bread and freshly and every morning I'd be like, oh, for God's sake, can we just have some sliced pan and red jam? Not realizing how utterly lucky I was. And again, it's like about just really simple food, well done.
Yeah.
In terms of Italian food, is that something that you would both be a fan of as well?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, my don't want to boast, but my mum was one of the first in the parish to introduce spaghetti bolognese.
Excellent.
That's quite something.
That's where it came from.
That's quite something.
amazing.
Yeah, bolognese actually comes from Arla, County Cork.
Is it?
We had spaghetti bolognese.
Where would you have
most
got a
Tuesday.
recipe from?
Well, she had all the cookbooks. Yeah.
We got one audience question as well. Well, I say audience, she couldn't actually make it here tonight. This is your life. It's from someone called Lisa McGee.
I know.
Yeah. So she says first. Who? Never heard of her. Said firstly.
Really?
So Lisa says, firstly, can you reassure Kathy and Siobhan that I'm asking this question while wearing very sensible shoes? Slippers, in fact, unlike the last time the three of us were together, when I think at one point I actually cried in pain. So what's that cry? That's not the question. That was the BAFTAs, right? Okay. And what it just
I wore runners.
You wore runners, I didn't.
No, you didn't. You wouldn't know. What are you wearing? Nobody can even see that I'm still wearing runners.
These ones are comfortable. On these. Lisa ended up taking her shoes off and putting slippers on, but then she didn't realise that the press wasn't all done, so she's all over BBC in her slippers and her dress.
She said, so my question is, if you could play any role in any TV show or any movie in history, what would it be and why? I know there was a lot of Annie she put in there, and that's from one Lisa McGee, so you can take it up with her instead of me.
Lisa McGee.
Well, I know what my answer is going to be, and she probably knows what my answer is going to be as well, because we share a love for this character. Murder, She Wrote.
Yeah.
With Jessica Fletcher as being a woman from Cork. I'm the Henry Ford of accents. You can ask for whatever accent you want, but you're getting this one.
Okay, so Jessica Fletcher, Murder She Wrote, Happy Days, but from Cork.
Yeah. Actually, she lived in Cork.
She did.
Yeah.
She did, Angela.
Yeah, all the greats. Yeah. Yeah, she did.
What about you, Kathy? Any particular role from TV or?
There's millions going through my head right now. I can't even settle on one. Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf? Or then in the vein that you're talking now, the mysteries, the murder mysteries. Mia Farrow's character in Death on the Nile.
Oh.
Yeah.
And for the costumes.
Oh, and
for the locations. And for the mad scenes
The Peter
that she has.
Ustinov one?
Yeah.
Dig him up.
Take them up, go for it again.
Yeah.
That'll be class, I can see it.
Yeah.
We were talking about pinch me moments earlier. Any particular celebrity fans who, you've been at these events, at the BAFTAs, at these different award ceremonies, and someone comes up to you and you're like, why is that whoever that person happens to be coming towards me, and now why
Grace
are they?
and Perry.
For you?
I nearly died. Grace and Perry. It was just the fact that he casually started talking to me about Derry, because I was like, oh my God, it's Grace and Perry, because I adore Grace and Perry. That was at the first BAFTAs. Yeah,
lost.
No, there's we did. Grayson was
So
raging.
did he?
Grayson was raging. He lost.
He was
right
raging
behind
too,
me.
yeah.
He was raging about us.
To do Perry Girls.
Perry girls? No.
We should do a wee crossover
No,
there anyway.
that'd be amazing.
What about you, Siobhan? Anybody for you who's kind of, you've had to go, what is going on here?
I've heard, and I've been asked to make a video for Tilda Swinton. Tilda Swinton is a big Derry Girls fan. I'll explain who she is later on.
Well, of course, Martin Scorsese is a
Martin
Derry Girls
Scorsese,
fan.
of course, yeah.
We all
Those nuns, huh?
It was a Q&A thing somebody sent me.
Yeah.
Asking Martin Scorsese what he's watching, and he says, "Oh, the Derry Girls." We're all like, "What?"
Yeah.
Yeah, Ali White sent me a photograph, and she was in New York last Halloween, of an Aunt Sarah dress-up kit on a shelf.
What?
Which was a scrunchie. A scrunchie, a fake cigarette, and a pair of pajamas, I think.
What?
Yeah. I don't even know if I think it was so cheap it didn't even have false nails in it.
That's your costume sort of for the movie then, whenever that happens? The infamous movie, yeah.
The infamous movie.
Do you think that would ever happen?
Hope so. Ask
Would you be up
Lisa
for it?
McGee. I would be up for it. Ask her. You've got a direct
'cause you
line
need
to
to
her.
be.
Yeah, no bother. I
Do you know?
give her a shout. So we got one on board. What about you, Siobhan?
Don't ask her. I'll get round her.
All right. Okay, you talk to Siobhan then. Perfect. We're almost wrapped up. We just have one.
No, I'm done now.
Yeah. It was a good one. There was one very quick fire word association game, if that's all right. So
I need
this
my
is
word association juice.
Yeah, no, get your juice into you. For these both of you, so you can just join in. First celebrity crush.
Michael Stipe.
Michael Stipe.
Oh, God. David Essex.
Right. Okay.
I was very young.
Current celebrity crush.
Gene Wilder.
Still Gene Wilder. I haven't got one.
Tilda
I
Swinton.
need to look.
Tilda Swinton's a great
Yeah.
shout. And then for both of you, what does Italy mean to you? First word that pops into your head for Italy?
Beauty.
Beauty.
Yeah, sunshine.
Beer?
Moretti.
Family?
Chats.
Chats. And Derry Girls.
Joy.
Mad.
Perfect. No, listen, the last thing that remains is just to say, Siobhan and Kathy, just a massive thank you for sharing your time with us and your stories as well. And as the Italians say, salute.
Salute!
Join us next week for more surprise guests at the shared table.
Again!